everyone, Matt here, and today we're continuing on with HiveSwap FriendSim. When we last left off, we finished Volume 11, and we are now starting off with Volume 12 of Know Nothings and Know-It-Alls. God, you have a headache. Is it dehydration? Only if you're thirsty for companionship. Are you hurt? Only your heart, and it aches for more pals. Is it withdrawal? Only from your addiction to new buddies. Really, there's only one cure for what ails you. Friendship. You wonder what sweet medicine you'll be imbuing this time. Gale Exigishi or Tirona Cashland. Let's go with the easier to pronounce name. So here you are, in jail. You always knew you would end up here eventually, but you were expecting a human jail, not this. It all happened so fast. You were waltzing down another alternating street in search of friends when you heard the telltale sound of machinery behind you. Before you could escape, some giant metal drone with a rocket ass scooped you up and flew away with you. You were honestly surprised that the drone didn't execute you on sight. They've tried to do that before, after all. Perhaps your numerous shenanigans have grown so fast and ridiculous, somebody wants to see you in person before you die. If only to have the chance to ask you, what the fuck? In any case, you aren't complaining. Not about being brought in alive, at least. You have plenty of other things to complain about, though. This cell sucks. It's hard and cold and full of this gross-looking moss that could probably kill you since everything else on this planet sure can. There's a couple patchwork holes in the back of your cell wall, which aren't enough to wriggle your way out through, but are enough to let in the light from outside. You've been in here since a few hours before dawn, and now it's midday, which means scorching rays of sunlight are streaming their way into your cell and forcing you to dart around for the shadiest spots as the sun makes its way across the sky. As if that weren't enough, it's also hammering rain outside, which really isn't doing much to stymie the sunlight. You think the rain might be acidic too? Fun! Intermingled with the rain, you've been hearing some sounds coming from the other rooms. Interrogations, maybe? Torture? Whatever it is, you are not a big fan. And somebody please fix the leak in the roof? If you have to listen to one more drop of water exploding onto the floor like a nuclear fucking bomb, your shit is going to take an extended sabbatical from the handle. To conclude, it's not great. You'd like out. Right now, preferably. Now? God damn it, you were hoping that someone would conveniently appear in time with your internal monologue, but no such luck. Okay, whew, there she is. Your new savior is small, probably the smallest troll you've met so far, with the possible exception of Amicia, and she looks about as young as Amicia as well. She's got wild pigtails sprouting from her head and a twitchy look in her eye, like she's going to start sprinting the second she hears a sound. She opens your cell door with a creak and gestures down the hallway with a quick jerk of her head. Come on, with me now, quickly. Head down, keep quiet, no asking questions. Alright, let's not ask questions. Let's follow her. Follow her down the hallway, keeping quiet as instructed. Even though you have so many questions you want to ask her. Questions like, what's her name? What her name is, or where you are, or why they haven't fixed the fucking leak in the roof. Instead, you just hurry closely behind. You just hurry closely behind as she takes you to a stairwell in the back of the building and up multiple flights of stairs. Peeking out of the window of each door you pass, you see what seems to be an evidence locker, and then a row of tightly packed cubicles, and then a long, winding hallway. This is where she opens the door and ushers you through. The hallway is full of electromagnet locked doors with troll signs on them, the overwhelming majority of which are teal. The only other presence here seems to be automated cleaning robots. You are unsurprised to see that troll Roombas come with their knives pre-attached. She punches a series of numbers and letters into a keypad beside one of the doors, bearing her sign and a name, and then slips inside, and you follow. Phew, here we are, a hive away from Hive. You can be a bit louder now, but no shouting. That'd just be weird as hell, buddy. Oh, and my name is Tyrona, by the way. You politely refrain from shouting as you introduce yourself to her. Tyrona pulls up a chair and sits down at her husktop, tapping some keys. So what we're gonna do here is I'm just going to go ahead and access your files in our system. Shouldn't be too hard to find since you're a weird alien, and yep, here we go. That's what we're looking for. Time to make a few edits. She leans in, fingers flying quickly over the keys. She's absurdly fast on the keyboard, eyes darting back and forth across the screen. Now normally, I wouldn't pull anything this risky, and I certainly wouldn't be helping out a criminal, but I have it, and on a good source that you're not the kind of person we should be letting rot in a cell, or worse. Right now, you're in our system on a lot of weird and serious offenses. But you and I, we know the only thing you're really guilty of is trying to keep your head and shoulders attached, yeah? Just gonna click here, delete a few things, and there we go, you're clean. Wow, just like that, huh? Thank her profusely, and even begin to consider groveling at her feet, but she cuts you off. Listen, I'm just doing the grunt work for you. Wasn't really my decision to spring you. Let's just say you and I have a mutual friend, wink wink, nudge nudge. I run errands for him sometimes, in exchange for information, and I just happened to be pulling in all day over here anyway, so I was in the right place at the right time. This mutual friend of yours sounds like a dead ringer for Malik. Wow. Knowing a Krulian in high places is already paying some great dividends. It beats our data, at least. All you got from her were some really weird DMs on Chitter from her stream followers. Anyway, speaking of being in the right place, what is this place anyway? This place is, well, it's a lot of things. Jail and courthouse and office and a whole lot more. Basically, if you're a teal looking to learn how to do teal things, this is where you go for a hands-on internship. Where most of the law is that most of it is law related, of course, but there's a couple semi-related fields for the go-getters looking to do something a little different, like me. Yep, I bet you're just dying to know what I get up to in these hollowed halls, don't you? Surely a brilliant mind like Miss Cousin is doing some real important work here, is what I bet you're thinking, and you are absolutely correct, my friend. Feast your gander bulbs on this. A few clicks of the wriggly bulbous mouse in her housetop loads up several images. You glance at the screen, and the recognition center in your brain goes haywire with dopamine. Alien culture or not, you know memes when you see them. God, you miss memes. Check it out, check it out. They're a little corny, but I know Triz is gonna love them. She's a real sucker for this kind of thing. One of them is an image macro featuring Trizza doing her makeup with the caption, Triz is so hot, rebels are so not. Another seems to feature troll brains. At least, you hope those are brains. Varying sizes and hemo colors. Being a rebel is the small maroon brain. Sympathizing with rebels is the medium-sized olive brain. And worshipping Trizza is the giant purple brain. These be going up on the web soon, but for now I've got plenty other memes circulating. See, I made a bunch of fake chitter accounts, and got some techie troll to automate them for me. He was hyped out the excitement nub to do some work on Triz's behalf, I tell you. Some of these accounts just pretend to be regular trolls, and now there are best jokes, nightly, big funny, relatable laugh humor. You know, they're racking up the follows as we speak. The point of them is to put these Triz memes out there. That's how you get them. Start with a couple of Inicus jokes and cute perp pics, then bam! Suddenly you're spreading the good word of the Empire and everyone accepts it because your chitter account is so funny and hip. I call it memaganda. It's gonna be the next big thing, I tell you. It does seem like a pretty clever way of spreading propaganda, really effective on today's modern youth. It also deeply unnerves you, but you leave that part out. There is just something wrong about memes being used for evil. Thank you. Glad someone appreciates all the hard work I'm doing here instead of just brushing me off. Oops. I've had to do a lot of overtime putting out propaganda for the Empire lately. Just between you and me, although this isn't exactly much of a secret anymore. There's talks of a rebellion brewing, like real actual big scale one, instead of just a bunch of high-bloods getting paranoid because Burgundy looked at them funny. It's pretty scary, actually, and I hope I won't get swept up in all of it if something nasty breaks out. Yeah, that's the vibe you've been getting. You're about to ask for more info about this rebellion, but when she cuts you off and keeps rambling on, seems like she's got a lot to say. You get the impression that nobody else here listens to her. Possibly because she's still so young compared to most of them. But saving you from a jail cell is a good way to get you to pay attention. But here's the thing, despite being a whole lot of potential trouble, it's also a great opportunity to show the Empress just how invaluable my skill set will be for them. See, I've got it all planned out. First I need to prove to Trizza how useful and clever I am, and how helpful I can be for her regime. Then when Trizza comes of age, she'll dethrone the current Empress and take her place. Most trolls just love Trizza, and those who don't are going to get themselves cold real quick, so I'm sure she'll have plenty of support when the time comes for their duel. Once she's in power, I snag myself a nice position as her propaganda minister, and if I'm real lucky, I can wield my way into being assistant to His Honorable Tyranny himself. His Honorable Tyranny? You don't think you've heard of this guy before. You assume he's a particularly high-ranking troll in the legislative process? Words. Oh no, he's just a fuck-off huge monster who passes judgment on criminals by eating them. Hurting anyone who bugs him, really. He presides over particularly noteworthy trials, especially at the extreme court. In retrospect, you should have known. If monsters can be parents, they can surely be judges too. But, what exactly is the appeal here? Who wouldn't want to be big and handsome and strong enough to devour anyone who annoys you? It's the perfect life, I tell you. There. As it stands, since I can't be him, I can at least be his best buddy and most perfect little helper. And besides, doing all the behind-the-scenes work is a lot safer than actually trying to hunt down or prosecute criminals, I'll tell you that much. I mean, yeah, he might eat me, but that's just a normal workplace safety hazard, really. Nothing I can't handle. She really does have it all planned out, doesn't she? You're impressed. Thank you. If I can't do it all alone, I'm gonna need some help along the way from a very talented and clever associate or two. But you know who I'm talking about. Her Lucis, her classmates. No, dummy. Here I am, trying to butter you up, and it flies right over your think pan. I'm talking about you. Need your help. I think after bailing you out of that jam, I've earned it, wouldn't you say? The old I rake my claws down your back, the old I rake my claws down your back, you rake yours down my dealy, you know. Troll items are still as inscrutable as ever, but you do know a thing or two about claws, and about helping people to earn their good graces. Graces. What you need? You ever hear the old adage? Teals talk. And a lot of teals have been talking about the strange alien going around getting all buddy-buddy with the cast. The way I see it, someone like that might just know how to get me into their offices, dig up some dirt on them and their potential rebel connections. I keep saying they should start shelling out for gander scan tech, but nobody ever listens to me. No way, no how. Regular old password system ought to be enough, right? Heh, they wish. Yeah, they really wish those locks were as secure as they think they are. You can figure out the codes, no problem, I'm sure. What do you say, pal? How about you help me help the Empire and root out rebel scum? Oof, not particularly keen on betraying your friends, but you do owe Tyrone a favor now. You'd love to make another pal while you're at it. There's got to be some way you can maneuver your way out of this mess. You tell her, sure, you'll offer her some help. If you're going to hit up someone's office, it should be Tagora, Tizius, or Tagiri. Oh no. Let's go Tizius. She's got to have something in her office. It's got to be Tizius. She runs a type of sleep-deprived ship. You'll give it a good try. Fail to find anything useful, and Tyrone will appreciate your attempt. Tizius, huh? Yeah, she's got that vibe to her, you know? She talks a lot about improving the justice system, and what kind of person does that, huh? A rebel sympathizer, that's who. Well, her justice system has worked just fine for hundreds of sweeps. The only person who ought to be proposing changes is Triza herself, but obviously there's nothing to change, or she'd have done it already. Anyway, this is Tizzy's door right over here, so why don't you start working your magic? Idea comes to you. Start tapping away at your phone, much to Tyrona's chagrin. Hey buddy, we're trying to break into someone's office. There's no time to play Flappy Talons creature. Explain that you're looking up Tizius on your phone to consolidate information and improve your chance of guessing your password. Whoopsie. Sorry, I'm just a little antsy there. Here, I guess. Haha. Carry on. Turning to the keypad, you start inputting your guesses. try the birthday listed on Tizia's Chitter profile. Nope, even the name of her mate's Brit doesn't work. Then something clicks. Everyone expects a long, complex password, right? You try just 2 paltry digits instead. 69. Click! Light goes green and the door to her office slides open. Bingo. It looks the exact same. Almost. Feeling pretty chipper about your breaking and entering skills, you usher Tyrona inside with an exaggerated bow. She cackles and skips right in, making her way over to a desktop sitting on Tizia's crowded desk. There's papers and old mugs lying around everywhere, and the rest of the room is about as disorganized as the desk, with towering stacks of books threatening to collapse if you so much as breathe wrong. The Empire already monitors online communications, of course, but we've got tools for those sneaky sneaks who try to hide things off the cloud. Tyrone produces a small device, bright red with gold accents, plugs into what appears to be a USB slot on the desktop. It wriggles upsettingly. I'll go through her files and you start looking through all those books and folders, okay? You offer a thumbs up and turn your attention to the absolutely massive pile of literature that is strewn throughout the office. You're not really giving it your full effort, hesitant to pry into Tizia's stuff, but you get the sense that she isn't hiding anything here anyway. Behind you, Tyrona is clicking through folders on the desktop, the exasperation in her voice steadily growing. Useless school-feeding assignments, copies of court transcripts, a bunch of nudes. It's all just normal Teal stuff. Yep, normal Teal stuff indeed. There's nothing incriminating on here at all. Where's she hiding it? Yep, Tyrona pulls away from the desktop and dives into the stack of books, with the gusto of a small child in a ball pit, rifling through the pages as quickly as she can. It isn't long before she gives up that pursuit too, emerging from the pile in a shower of loose pages. I can't find any evidence of wrongdoings anywhere. No hanging folders on her desktop, no secret stash between the pages of a book, nothing. She stomps back and forth, pacing around the room and scratching at her face absent-mindedly. Maybe there just isn't anything to find. Is that so bad? Yes, if she's not bad, it's super bad. Ugh, look, see, I'm not big, and I'm not strong, and even if I get a growth spurt when I'm older, it won't change that I don't like to fight. That's just not what I'm cut out to do. I'm a thinker and a listener, and a talker. Knowledge is power, and it's the only kind of power I'm good with. It's the only kind that'll keep me in the game. Everyone's gotta play nice and get off my case because they know I've always got the dirt. All those crafted Teal jerks keep trying to hide all their secrets from me. I'm gonna be hooped if I can't get one over on them. Hooped. Tyrona yanks at her pigtails and slumps down against the wall, looking as frazzled as ever you've seen her. This calls for a pep talk. You sit down across from her and offer a gentle smile. You know where she's coming from. When you came here, you were a mess. You still kind of are. All you had was your guts, your mind, and your goofy charisma. You've been blundering your way across the planet, but somewhere in between all the blundering, you made friends and gained skills. You figured out how to keep surviving, even when it seemed impossible. And if you can do it, she can too. Sure, she may not be as big and strong as she'd like. She won't always win. Sometimes there's going to be days like today where she doesn't succeed. But she's got the spark in her. You can see it. That tells you she'll be just fine as long as she keeps her head up and tries to hang in there. Tyrona perks right up. Your motivational speech game is really on the ball lately. Yeah, you're right. This might have been a bust, but I sure ain't. I've already got all kinds of connections and pals and skills. I mean, the guy I ran those errands for, says I'm one of the smartest and cleverest TLC's ever met, and that I'm really mature for my age, and... Oh no. You never find out what else he says, because you're interrupted by the sci-fi whoosh of the office door opening as Tizia steps through. There's a long, awkward pause before she raises an eyebrow at Tyrona. Now, just what in the hell are you two doing in my office? Tyrona begins stammering in response, but Tizia jerks her head toward the door. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to get out right now. She turns to you. Not you. You. We need to have a chat. Tyrona flashes you a terrified look before scurrying out of the room, door slamming shut behind her. Tizias glances at the door, then pulls you toward the most secluded corner of the room, where books are piled so high they practically reach the ceiling. She speaks in a low, hushed whisper. Good idea, because you'd bet a troll buck or two that Tyrone's listening outside the door. Hey, so that was some good thinking. Texting me as soon as you got your palm husk back. Shrug humbly. You're getting good at leveraging your bountiful stockade of friends. I wonder what she thinks I'm going to do to you. There's a lot of rumors about me. Most of them untrue. When you look as tired as I do every day, trolls will whisper. She chuckles lightly and takes a sip of water before sighing. Can't believe she thought I'd ever be dumb enough to keep incriminating documents in my office. She must be getting real desperate to prove herself. This is exactly my point about how fucked up it is here. Everyone trying to climb over each other out of the muck and pull the rest down like shell cutlers in a seafood storage device. Poor girl. She thinks she's got everyone in the palm of her hand, but she's being played as much as any of the rest of us schmucks. Another sigh. I feel like sighing may as well be Tizia's second quirk. But you've already heard enough from me about all that. Go pretend I chewed you the fuck out or something. Need to reorganize all this shit now that she ruined my old system. Office looks far better organized than it did when you walked in, actually. But you're not about to split hairs over it when Tizias just bailed you out of potential disaster. You thank her, give her a quick hug, and then slip out of the office. Tyra nearly falls over herself, stumbling out of the way from the door, where she was clearly trying to listen in. Whoa, you're here and still alive and in one piece? That must have been a real close one. You know what she does to people who cross her, right? Well, I'll give you a hint, pal. It starts with disembowelment and it only gets worse from there, huh? How do you make it out? Oh, you know, talking your way out of jam. Slow breeze. Tyra seemed starry-eyed and impressed. Sure do know how to handle yourself, especially for a weird alien. I think you and I ought to stick together. Technically, you don't owe me anything anymore, but us little people work best in numbers, yeah? You could use a friend like me. Smile back. You smile, basking in the now familiar glow of camaraderie. Yeah, you can use a friend like her. And you think she could use a friend like you, too. You did good. Just kidding. Let's ask questions. Wait. You have so many questions. Which of your many lovely friends was she willing to help you escape? Who is she? What's her deal? How did she know? She shushes you. Her eyes narrow into an appraising squint as she looks you over. Not too bright, huh? Figures. Listen, I don't have time to explain, and I'm not putting my neck out any further, so here's what we're going to do, okay? You're going to run, not too far, because you don't want to wind up in undead territory. Stick to the city and find a nice hiding place and keep your head down. See ya. She rather forcefully stuffs what appears to be a military-grade umbrella into your hands and shoves you back out shoves you out a back door into the rain and sunlight. When you turn to protest, the lock on the door clicks shut and you're stuck outside. What was that she said about undead? Game over. Alright, other thing. Let's go in Tagiri's office. After mulling it over for a while, you decide Tagiri is the safest choice. Sure, he's the guy with a sword, but he's also by far the least likely to harbor rebel sympathies. So you won't be getting anyone in trouble here. Yeah, Tagiri. Now that's an interesting choice, I tell you what. He's always sticking up to the purples and trying to make himself look all cool and not knowledgeable about law stuff. So you'd think he'd be clean, but maybe just maybe, it's all a front. I'm working on a video about rebel sympathizers right now, actually. And that's one of my big, bold points that I go over. How sometimes the guy trying too hard to look like he is on the level is actually as far off the level as it gets. So yeah, let's see what this guy is hiding, why don't we? Moseying on over to his door, you consider the keypad. This shouldn't be a hard password to guess. It's got to be the name of one of his favorite animes, right? Punch one in. And nope, a buzzer sounds. Try another. Nada. But to your delight, the door clicks and begins to slide open after the third anime tile. Glance over your shoulder and see Tyrona beaming at you from right behind you. You turn back to the door and yikes! The katana comes swinging out toward you on a wire, and you narrowingly dive out of the way before it connects, crashing to the floor in the process. You groan and stagger back to your feet, and hear a familiar voice sounding from a speaker in Tagiri's room. Foolish evildoer! Did you really think it would be that simple? You've fallen for my trap. Your three pitiful guesses were all it took to seal your doom. Not that it's going to do any good while you bleed out on the floor. Sayonara, trespasser. Sure, the message seems to cut off there. But then there's some muffled sounds, like a microphone being moved. What do you think, Tadashi? It's going to look so cool when I show it off to my colleagues. Breathe a sigh of relief. That katana was aiming right at your head. You almost got skewered. Talking about a close one, right, Tarona? Tarona? Oh, God. Let's go in Tagora's office. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. He's real smart and a good talker, and he's always got the latest gossip. So you'd think he'd be my kind of guy. But he's also such a sweet slays? Like a real creepy creepster. Not to mention he charges out the sniff tube for all his info. No thanks, I'll handle it myself. Oh, but imagine the scandals if he turned out to be a rebel all along. Really hope we find something on him here. After some 1337 hacking, that is, punching his wriggling day into the keypad, the door to his office clicks open. Two of you slip inside and you glance around. You are immediately reminded of his hive, almost eerily reminded of it, in fact. Did he just order copies of all the same minimalist aesthetic furniture and have them sent to his office? Well, you don't know exactly what that is, but certainly impressive. You know, I'm not so sure if that face is regulation. Take a picture of it just in case, will you? Sure thing. And if you happen to accidentally delete the picture later, well, actually, you have accidentally deleted a bunch of pictures before. Figuring out your troll phone has been an ordeal. Line up your camera, take the shot, and oh fuck! You were about to press the button. Your phone received an incoming call from someone, and you ended up hitting the answer call button instead. Now you're going to be trapped in a social encounter that you weren't mentally prepared for. No, wait, it's just Tagora. That's no problem at all. He's gregarious and easy to talk to, and you're standing in his office. Fuck! Again. Throwing on your most practiced everything is perfectly fine expression, try to angle the camera so he can't tell where you are. My apologies for bothering you on such short notice. I recently learned through the grapevine that you may have been responsible for certain changes in Exigi's attitude as of late. I thought it might be prudent to let you know that... Wait. Is that my office? Did you break into my office? No, God no, it's not his office, it's just, an office that coincidentally happens to look exactly like his. His face has been frozen mid-smile, and now it slowly seems to twist, until the smile doesn't look nearly as friendly or genuine as it did a moment ago. He starts to laugh, little raspy chuckles under his breath. I see. More the fool was I to ever believe I could trust a fellow liar. Is this Galik's work? No, it can't be. He doesn't do that kind of subterfuge. It was all just a game to you. Yes, that must be it. Of course it was. You're not here to make friends. What? No, that's exactly what you're here to do. The bills I so graciously forewent for your sake. Ha! Well, no matter. You can expect a very hefty invoice to arrive via email as soon as I finish typing it all up. Yeah. No, please no. It doesn't have to end this way. You were just trying to secure another friendship. He knows how it goes, right? Saying or doing anything for a bit of social gain? Oh, but of course. I would be very happy to continue our business relationship in the future. Once I've been reimbursed in full for my time and expenditures. Farewell. He ends the call and his face disappears. The friendly little whoo sound that Gripe makes cannot possibly underscore the finality and tragedy of this situation. Your heart, truly, is broken. Hey, at least you can trade one friend for another, right? Now that she's seen what you're willing to sacrifice for her, surely Tyrona will... Tyrona? Ah, shit. At some point while you were distracted, she made the break for it. Now you're left with not but a hefty fine and an ache in your chest where friendship used to be. Game over. Anyways, that will be all for this time on HiveSwap FriendSim. If you liked the video, like it. And if you want to see more of my content, feel free to subscribe. And now, have a good day, and do what you do best. Goodbye.